You're in a glass, almost feels like a greenhouse, but not.
Yeah, it feels like exactly, it feels like a greenhouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
why does it feel like a greenhouse?
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. This is your host, Allie. We are so excited today. I'm joined by Katie and Becki, and we are talking food. There's nothing we like talking more, I feel like, than food on this show. We've done a lot of dining plan. We've done a lot of dining reservations, quick service, snacks even. And something we have yet to really dive into that we are so excited to start today is table service meals at Walt Disney World. So we're going to be starting with Magic Kingdom, by far most people's favorite park. So why not start there with the food that they're going to offer, right, girls?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. I'm excited to talk about the places here.
I always say food is my favorite thing about Disney, but food just dominates life, I feel like. Is it an American thing for food to just be the center of everything?
That's true.
Yeah, because I'm like a person that gets really hangry. So it really affects my mood. It affects like where I want to vacation and the order I want to do things. So I could not agree more. And speaking of food, on a tangent here, we are really taking a deep dive back into life at our house here in the Midwest. I was just telling you girls and some of the girls on our travel agent team that we have together yesterday about the chaos that is my life and schedule right now. And I'm sure you all can relate. My son is doing 3 fall activities. That's probably my fault for signing him up. My youngest daughter is doing 4 fall activities. And my oldest daughter is only doing 1, but it's a big one. Like it takes up like all of her time. She couldn't fit another one. So every single night is chaos and a jigsaw puzzle. And we're just now diving into like week 1 of all of that. So I'm now every day trying to figure out, okay, when do they eat dinner? What clothes do I need to pack for the evening? Like last night when I was leaving my dance studio, I had this stack of clothes that was, I'm not kidding, longer than the length of my torso. And I was showing my friends, I was like, this is half a day of clothes. Like this is the clothes they wore before their evening activity of clothes. I was like, how are we going to survive this?
Oh my gosh. You're a busy person without kids having activities. You're just overall a busy person. So
Yeah.
I cannot imagine your schedule. And you're a paper planner person. You're not like a digital planner person. So how you keep it straight,
the gratification of like marking something off of my paper calendar it's rewarding. And I really failed this week though, because it was the first week back to all of this stuff. I did so great at organizing the schedules and making sure they could get everywhere and making sure they had their clothes. My wife does most of the cooking. I don't do any meal prep, but she was immersed in like reopening our dance studio this week. And so we didn't have a great dinner plan for our kids at all. And I really need to get into like Instapot cooking because I know that's a big new, I don't even really think it's new anymore. I just know that it's a great go-to because my kids definitely had Happy Meals from the drive to school, from school to their first activity this week. And they had snack boxes that were like a substitution as dinner one night this week. So it's one of those things that's hard for me, like planning dinner and then making it happen.
Sean makes the bulk of our meals, probably over 80% of it. Our dinners are Sean cooking. However, he is now coaching girls golf, boys golf, and helping with boys basketball, head coach for the girls basketball. So from crack of dawn till after the dinner bell, he is not home. And so I'm having to figure it out. And I'm just like, I could burn water. Like I am a terrible cook. I mean, I told you guys about my noodles on a previous episode. Like I'm just bad. I'm not good at this cooking thing. But last night I added to the difficulty because a bag of popcorn caught on fire in our microwave. And so we had to deal with life without a microwave. And I was making sloppy joes and mac and cheese, and it was just a hot mess. But the kids all ate it. Everyone ate it. And they're all like, this is really good, Mom. I'm like, I faked it really, really well without a microwave, without knowing how to cook.
That's like me like making instant mac and cheese for my kids and being like, Mom, delicious. It's so good.
That's hilarious.
100% mac and cheese, 100%.
Yeah.
I made dinner twice this week and I botched dinner twice this week, which makes me sad because I used to really enjoy cooking, but I feel like I don't have any time for that anymore either. And whenever I botch a meal, it makes me so sad. But last night I was up making pumpkin bread, and fun fact, I got sick last night. Gosh. But I was making pumpkin bread, and last night, as this is all happening, like I'm getting sick, it's not going well. I had a terrible night last night, and I just have to tell you guys this. This is a major side tangent. I had a fever dream last night. It can only be described as a fever dream. I don't know if other people dream in video game format, but I definitely dream in video game format. And I had a dream where I was like the like Red Dead Redemption like cowgirl character, and I was on a mission to go get purified water. And I got off my horse and I walked into this building, and who do I encounter except Horace and Jasper from 101 Dalmatians? And I have to rescue the 101 Dalmatians in my dream.
Oh.
That's so funny. I wonder where that even would have come from.
It's crazy.
Well, today we're going to be thinking about how my life is so much better when I'm at Disney World and dinner is planned out for us. And we have dining reservations that we made far in advance, and nobody is burning anything or microwaving anything or driving through for anything. But let me just say, like, I am so grateful that I can drive through for things because sometimes I just need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is an excellent cook when we have time. Like, she's really good. She doesn't burn anything. Except one time she undercooked chicken and then served it to me and our friends.
Oh.
It was like this big, nice meal. We all felt so bad. We like cut into our chicken and we were like, I don't think it's done.
Oh.
But that was really rare for her. She's so good. But when we're at Disney World, we are constantly eating food that others prepare. So today we are going to be rating. Is rating the right word, do you think? We're going to be grading these table service meals. We have given them 6 different categories. And each category is going to count for 1 star. So similar to like a Michelin star standard with a Disney twist. And at the end, we'll see how many of these end up with 6 stars, 5 stars, and so on, putting them in little graded categories so that it makes it easier for you to see what is top tier dining at Disney and what is bottom tier dining at Disney. Today, of course, focusing on Magic Kingdom. This episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast is brought to you by BabyQuip, the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond. There is nothing more difficult for my family with 3 young kiddos than when we are traveling. We're just out of rhythm without our things. We just feel out of step and our kids feel off. It can make our vacation feel so much more stressful than it needs to. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more, BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy that our kids crave and we need as parents when we are away from home. When they're happy, we're happy. And by using local quality providers that are often moms, dads, and grandparents just like us and you smarties that are listening today, BabyQuip makes sure that you are working with somebody who understands the needs of your family firsthand. If you need it, they have it. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols and are also insured to give you that extra peace of mind that you need to really enjoy your vacation. With convenient delivery to your location, whether it's a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, wherever you're calling, home away from home, they've got you covered. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're heading to Disney World, Disneyland, or another travel destination, BabyQuip will be there for you. With their easy-to-use online platform, you don't have to stress about getting your products. Head to babyquip.com. Use code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, to get $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. If you haven't listened to our episode where we ranked all of the Disney World pools, this format was so much fun. We did it in a 2-part episode there for every pool at Disney Resorts. So check that out if you haven't already. If you have, this is going to be a similar format. We have come up with 6 categories. Remy approved. If a restaurant is Remy approved, that is going to be a star that has to do with the menu and the variety of the food that a restaurant is offering. Tiana approved will be the food quality. How good is the food that they put in front of you? Is it top tier at Disney or is it just subpar? Edna Mode approved. If you know Edna Mode from The Incredibles, she is all about the details. A lot of Disney magic has to do with the details and the theming. So if a restaurant is Edna approved, that means that the theming is A plus throughout. Boo approved is going to be how kid friendly is the meal. Cinderella approved. What's the length and pacing of the meal? What's the timing like? Is it too long? Is it too short? And Lumiere approved. Does it have an offer like an extra glow about it? Does it have something special that we can just say, you know what, they're all great, but this one has this about it and nothing else does? So that star is going to be kind of hard to earn from us. We'll give each of them a star in each category. I'm excited to dive in. I know that people hear about a couple of these restaurants all the time. And some of them I feel like they don't hear about ever. And so I'm excited to hear what you all think. And we're going to start with a very popular one. At least a lot of my clients always want to eat there. I have eaten there. We've talked about it a ton on the show. And that, of course, is going to be Our Guest. Becki, you start us here. Remy approved, Be Our Guest.
So, Be Our Guest, just a little bit of an intro to it, right? Be Our Guest is a Beauty and the Beast themed restaurant. It's in Fantasyland. There's a small version. It looks like you're taking a walk towards the Beast's castle. I love the imagery of that scene of having the castle far up on the hill and kind of walking across the bridge. It's really, really setting the scene really, really well. And my daughter, McKenna, our middle child, was a Beauty and the Beast kid for years because she loved the animation. She loved the live action. And she was so excited to eat here. We did Bippity Boppity Boutique. We made our reservations, showed up to be our guest. The Beast comes into the room and then waved at her and left. Like, she was so disappointed in that. So lots of things to have conversation here. Also, another thing to consider is this is a fairly expensive restaurant. But as far as menu goes, I feel like this menu is very hearty. It's very traditional. Depending on when and how your family's feeling about food, I think that the menu variety is going to be there. We had the French onion soup. It's very formal. Don't you think it's a very formal menu?
Yeah, it is pretty formal.
Yes and no on the formality. Yes, I think the menu is pretty formal. The menu is upscale. The menu is really nice, but I don't want to be misleading and make people think that they have to be fancy to go there. You know, you're still coming in hot and sweaty off of the theme park.
Yeah, absolutely. So the menu itself just feels like a formal meal to me. French onion soup, you're going to have like escargot and sweet corn bisque. There's tenderloins, there's squash. Like, it feels like a very fancy type of food, but I feel like it's a decent variety of food also.
Yeah, this restaurant is totally Remy approved. Like, it's definitely a good menu, a well thought through themed menu. You know, like you said, the escargot, that's because it's a French, you know, Beauty and the Beast takes place in France. And I mean, I can't see Remy not approving the menu here at Be Our Guest.
Yeah, and you're going to have steak, you're going to have chicken, you're going to have vegetarian options. You're really just going to have a lot of really great hearty. You're going to have great desserts. Actually, the desserts were probably one of my favorite things about this restaurant.
Yes, the dessert here is incredible.
Okay, so I think definitely we give it a Remy approved, which leads us straight into Tiana approved. Some of the restaurants have great intention with their menu, but then you eat and not so good. What did you all think about your meals that you had here at Be Our Guest once you actually ordered off of that great menu? Katie, what did you have? Do you remember?
So we go about once a year because this is always Bella's pick for her birthday meal. And so I've had the chicken before, I've had the steak before. I definitely liked the steak better than the chicken, but I feel like I was really happy with my meal every time I've gone. And that French onion soup that Becki was talking about, I would go out of my way for it. I love French onion soup. I really feel like the quality of the food is good here.
I can agree that the food was good. However, I can tell you that I left that meal feeling shocked about the sticker price of that meal and feeling like, would I have liked to have paid that much money for the food that I got? And I don't know that the answer was yes. I think that it is high quality food, but yikes. For me, that was like, oh.
I remember liking this dinner better than my dinner at the other castle, which we'll get to. And I remember my dad liking his meal here. And that's kind of like a hard person to get to like a meal. Like, he's He's very judgmental on food. And so it's been actually a bit since we ate here. I had steak, and I remember us all saying that that was
Mhm.
delicious. The best part about that experience for us was that we all felt like we had a good
Mm.
meal. So I would like to give quality a Tiana approval.
Yeah, I'm good with doing that. I sounds like 2 out of 3 is for sure quality check.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Edna Mode is going to be the theming. This is so hard for me because yes, it's gorgeous. It might be one of the most beautiful restaurants in all the land. The dining rooms are amazing. For me, and I say this every single time we talk about this restaurant, so I don't want to beat it dead. It misses the mark on theming because it's literally called Be Our Guest. It's literally named after one of the greatest musical song performances in any Disney movie ever. And there's just nothing going on that meets that. And I think they're just trying to make it more of a formal meal. Like, I think the goal of Disney is to make it a fancier, more upscale experience, but it's not what I expected. And then I also don't really feel like this, like even the servers could at least be themed after that somehow. You know what I'm saying? And I think it misses the mark on theming, even though the dining rooms are gorgeous.
I love the dining rooms in this restaurant. I actually think that the dining rooms themselves might be among the best theming in restaurants. I don't know what the Beast's room that's dark and has the row.
It's the West Wing.
Yes, the West Wing. I'm like, what is that called? It's dark and it's so well themed. You walk in and this is a massive restaurant.
Mhm.
Massive restaurant.
The centerpiece of the West Wing is like the glowing rose, and I feel like everybody tries to make their way over there at least to catch a glimpse of it. And we've dined in the main area there where like you're in the ballroom and you can see the snow falling down from the windows and everything. Like it is just, it's perfection to me. It's perfection. I love it. I've also sat in the room that it's basically like you are in sort of like a music box and they have the statue of Belle and Beast dancing, like spinning. I have loved every room that we have dined in, and I have to say, my feeling on the theming for this one is they nailed it. I think a lot less about what it could have been and a lot more about what it is. And every time I go there, my Beauty and the Beast loving heart is just so happy with it. So for me, it gets that mark. But I don't know about the rest of you. What do you think?
I agree on the theming. I think it's a gorgeous. You walk in and you are in Beauty and the Beast, the animated movie. Like I feel like that is what it is. When we're getting to the extras, like there's obviously things that they could have done better, but as far as the theming of the restaurant, if you are a Beauty and the Beast loving kid or mom or dad or anyone, like you're going to walk in and you feel Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Give it a star. Give it a star for theming. I like what Katie said. She thinks about what it is, not what it could have been. And if I put those glasses on, it is gorgeous. Boo approved. How kid friendly is Be Our Guest? Katie, what do you think?
10 out of 10. I said Bella picks it for her birthday meal every year. And if she didn't pick it for her birthday meal, I would because I love it that much. But I mean, obviously, I'm an adult. But yes, my daughters love Be Our Guest. 10 out of 10. It's kid approved.
Oh, I absolutely love this simply for that dessert plate. The kids love it.
The dessert plate on the kids menu, easily the coolest dessert on Disney property.
For sure.
So the kids get a plate with icing that is different colors
Mhm.
and a paintbrush and a white chocolate chip
Mhm.
cup. First of all, that chip cup alone, like a tiny cup of chip made out of white chocolate that every child gets, is worth the price, right? Like you're at an expensive meal, and that's an expensive little thing to
Right.
get, right? They're making a lot of those. And then they get a paintbrush and they literally get to paint Chip before they eat him. And I mean, the next category here is Cinderella length and pacing of the meal, Cinderella approved. So we agree that it's Boo approved. Part of the thing about the pacing of the meal is I actually think it's really long.
Mhm.
And I remember us being there forever. And when we ate there, my kids were in this stage of life where we couldn't sit at a meal without them melting down. Like every meal, I remember that trip, every single meal was somebody crying, somebody melting down, an adult having to eat at the table. It was a really hard era for us. And Be Our Guest was the only meal that didn't happen in. And it was the longest meal. It's a really long meal, but that chip cup helped get us through so that at the end, they were all painting. And my wife and my parents and I got to sit there and finish drinking wine, have a cup of coffee, and talk and stay out of the park for a while because they were painting. And so that came in clutch. That said, we needed that cup because it was a really long experience.
Yeah, I agree. You are not going to be in and out of Be Our Guest in an hour. It's definitely not an hour. It's probably going to be closer to an hour and a half, if not maybe 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a prefix meal and because it's courses, it's paced to enjoy and it's
Mhm.
paced to be spread out. It's not quick service, it is table service, but it's longer table service, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the size of this restaurant, I know we're not necessarily talking about this as a character meal because it definitely doesn't necessarily give us that like characters coming around to your table to greet and take pictures.
Mhm.
But could you imagine if they were trying to get the characters to come to every table? That those rooms are massive. It would
Yeah.
literally take forever. It would take an already long meal and make it even longer.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you think it gets a star because it's long and they have a way to entertain your kids? Like what other really long experience has a way to entertain your kids at the end of it so that you can stay and enjoy whatever comes next?
I kind of like the idea of not giving it the star for the length, but instead giving it the star for that extra Lumiere glow because of the chip.
I love that idea, but I will go with that because it is a long meal and the chip thing is it absolutely is an extra glow for Lumiere. But I just have to say a better extra spark glow from Lumiere would be a performance of Be Our Guest
Truth.
to get it in there. Okay, great. So that then gave Be Our Guest 5 stars out of 6. No surprise there. So when we get the star rating here at the end, we will go ahead and say here that 6 stars, that's an A plus for our tier chart. 5 stars, a solid A. 4 stars, a B. 3 stars, a C. 2 stars, a D. And if a restaurant, I will be shocked if something only gets 1 star. But if there is something out here that gets 1 star, that's failing. Don't go there. 1 star restaurant. I wouldn't go to a 1 star restaurant. So Be Our Guest taking 5 stars out of 5 categories. That's an A. I like it. Absolutely. And we are going to shift then to our other castle, and that is going to be Cinderella's Royal Table. I feel like a bit polarizing in conversation, but I'm excited to dive into why and see how many stars this one actually ends up with, because I think we all might be surprised here. Remy approved, once again, the menu and variety at Cinderella's Royal Table. I remember this menu being like 3 options.
Yeah, it doesn't have a really extensive menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that they have going for this restaurant for menu is that it does have breakfast and lunch and dinner, and that's not necessarily the case with all restaurants. I think that it is very traditional again. I think, and maybe that's just leaning in that our little princes and princesses get festive and want to go to somewhere fancy, and so these tend to lean towards that fancier menu.
So we could look at it from the angle that it offers 3 different meals, or we can look at what it offers within each meal. I do agree, and it's a character meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is also rare, which is cool, but that doesn't have anything to do with the menu. So I've had this for breakfast and lunch. I loved breakfast. Starting my day with breakfast food that I thought was, a good variety and princesses was like, this is Disney World. This is how I want to start my day. Having prime rib at noon because it was all I could pick out of that, salmon or like, I don't know, something else that felt really weird at noon. I did not love that.
And I don't know if the menu's changed recently, but when I was looking at it in prep work, they have steak, they have fish, they have chicken, they have vegetarian, they have lamb chop. Do they even still have the prime rib?
They may not. They might not actually. But all of that to say, I did feel like it was a lot. Every option felt like a lot for lunch. Do you know what I mean?
In the middle of the Florida heat.
Yeah. But like I was looking for something, what's the lighter affair here that I can go to instead? And then there wasn't,
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Do you think this menu gets a Remy approval?
It doesn't for me.
I agree. I feel like it is more limited.
Yeah, I think it's too limited. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. What about food quality once you order off of the menu?
I feel like the quality of the meal is good. Whenever I went, I was there for breakfast and I had the stuffed French toast, which I thought was delicious. So I feel like the quality of the food's good.
I've always chosen breakfast when I choose this meal, and I've never walked away thinking, that was subpar food. I was always very pleasantly surprised with the food.
Breakfast, I would agree with you. It would get a Tiana approval. I had 2 meals at lunch because the first one that came was on this bed of something that I tried so hard to eat, but it was just not for me. Like and then when I got the steak as the alternative, I was like, oh, not great. And, I had the Be Our Guest experience steak in my mind and just felt like it was so much better. I felt like the Be Our Guest food was way better than the Royal Table food. And so that was hard for me because I feel like Cinderella's Royal Table should be the diamond here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And we were talking yesterday about beignets and how they just taste better when you're surrounded by the right environment. And maybe that's what I was overtaken by, the magic of just being inside of the castle, that the food isn't necessarily the memorable part either.
Mhm.
And it should be.
Yeah, like a lot of times I feel like the food at character meals, it can be less than, sometimes I don't want to make too sweeping of a statement because I don't think that's true of all character meals at all. But because character meals are like such quick turnover and like a lot of people, I feel like the food sometimes can suffer. And I feel like Cinderella's Royal Table falls trap into that a bit. Like you're trying to do a character meal at a really nice meal, and there's a lot of different contributing factors. And so you're not getting like the quality out of it that you would really want. Yeah. I don't think Tiana would approve this quality.
I'm fine with that.
However, we're going to move to Edna Mode approved. That theming, I absolutely, this is the theming of the theming, right? Like this is the castle, this is regal. And not only is it the regal royal castle, you're being greeted by the princesses the whole time. Like who cares if your food isn't good? The princesses are coming around.
Yes, it's the castle. You cannot beat it. And I have to say, if you're able to take the stairs up to the restaurant, take the stairs and get a photo in front of the Cinderella stained glass window. Like it's so pretty. It's so pretty in there. Yes, it definitely gets Edna mode theming.
Yeah, Becki, you agree?
I 100% agree on it. Like you are in the freaking castle. Like
Mhm.
how do you compete with the theming of that, and having those stained glass windows overlooking the carousel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's just
You know what else I love about it is it's small. The dining room is really quite small, which it makes it really like a hard reservation to score.
mhm.
Like you can see the whole thing from where you're sitting, whereas a lot of character meals and things are in different rooms and you can't see the whole building. This royal table is one dining room, so you can see the princesses the whole time. And I don't know, I love that part of it so much. It's why that is the number one reason I would continue to go. It would not be for the food, it would be for being there in that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
How about boo approval? Katie, what do you think? You got 3 young princesses at home.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I haven't gotten to do this one since the return of all of the princesses, and this is very high on our list. And I know that our girls are going to go crazy whenever they can meet all of the princesses in the castle. What's kind of funny is Matt, my husband, is like, we have to get the girls back to Cinderella's royal table. Like, he knows that they're going to love it so much that that's like the pressing thing is he's like, when are we getting the girls to Cinderella's royal table?
I think when you check in, they do everything right in setting the scene for the kids here, right? They're getting they get the little wishing star, they get the little surprises that come along with this table service. And I also think that if you're planning on doing this with your kids, plan on this being a big chunk of your budget, because this is among the highest cost meals on all of Disney property. Like Ali was saying, it's hard to get that reservation, but this is another rare thing to consider here, is that you do have to prepay for this meal. So lots of things to consider, but when it comes to kids, Disney does this one right.
Yeah, kid approved, boo approved, not wallet approved. Totally fine. The things we do for our kids. And it gets a star there, definitely. So that moves us to Cinderella approved on length and pacing. I think it's great because it's a character meal, it's getting quick turnover. So you're eating, which is why the quality probably suffers. You're seeing princesses, you're meeting 5 or however many are greeting you at the time, roughly.
I think it's 5.
And at least, yeah. And then you're out. And you're back off into your day and you've had the princesses and you've had the castle. I think it's great.
I agree on that as well. However, I wish that I would be able to stay in there forever. No matter how long they would give me, I would want to stay in there longer.
Yeah, they need you to be able to paint like a glass slipper or something. Actually, I don't even think in this restaurant you would have to let your kids paint something because I think they would just stay too.
Yes.
Mhm.
You all agree though, right? Like it's a nicely paced meal.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the extra spark. I mean, come on. Lumiere definitely approves Cinderella's royal table because it's in the castle, because you're meeting princesses. I mean, there are two princess meals on Disney property, but there are like a billion Mickey meals. Okay, this one is special just for the nature of what it is.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, I actually love this. It did only take 4 stars, which gives it an overall B rating,
Hmm.
which is okay. I don't hate that because it loses its stars in food, and we are talking about food, but I'm glad we gave it the points it deserved in the areas it deserved.
Hmm.
All right,
Can I introduce the next one?
please do.
This is going to become a total thing on the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast.
Please do so that I don't have to. How about that?
The Crystal Palace. Oh my gosh. Personally, my favorite character meal in Magic Kingdom because it has Winnie the Pooh. I am so glad that Katie is here with me today to defend Winnie the Pooh because
Terrible.
Allie is wrong. Allie is wrong. Oh my gosh. So you get to have this is also a buffet, which is really cool because your kids are going to eat whatever they want to eat. And the variety in this restaurant is so high, so high on variety. Tiana's might be a different question on food quality, but Remy's, we have to. A buffet is always going to hit the mark with variety.
I'm with you there. You gotta market for the variety. I love the desserts that are all little, like they're themed after each character. Like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Yes. Remy
It is.
approved.
Yeah, it's Remy approved for sure because it's not even really a menu. Like that buffet is always going to hit. You get it. Fine.
Yes.
Food quality, not my favorite buffet. There are better buffets. Okay. If you're a buffet family, like I have a family that's traveling that I booked as a travel agent, and they're like, tell me all the buffets. What are the buffets? Which are the best buffets? We're buffet people. And I don't think they're alone in that like at all. And I gave them this one. There are better buffets.
Because you know that Winnie the Pooh is going to make their meal like so magical. Oh,
No, I was like, you could go here, but you should go here. Like you should go to Crystal Palace, but
That's so funny. I actually thought the food quality here was okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what I ate for dinner, so I can't tell you what my entrees were. I really liked the desserts, but I didn't leave feeling like unhappy or anything about it. I felt okay about it.
if this Tiana's rating was based on desserts, it would definitely get it. But based on food, it's buffet food.
Yeah.
It's good, but you're not going to leave remembering, just like Katie said, you're not going to leave remembering, oh, that was such a delicious meal.
Yeah.
yeah. But see, sometimes there are buffets on Disney property that you do. Like there are a few that I'm thinking of that like I don't want to do spoiler alerts because obviously we're going to talk about this at all of the parks and such. And so I'll just save that conversation. But there are buffets where you leave like, wow, that was great. And so I don't give it a star. Yeah. Edna mode theming. What is the theming here?
The Crystal Palace. You're in a glass, almost feels like a greenhouse, but not.
Yeah, it feels like a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Why does it feel like a greenhouse?
There's a lot of plants around.
Why?
I don't know that the theming itself is great, but I just walk in and I just feel happy because
It's like this restaurant. No, this is like a restaurant that doesn't know its identity. Like it's a character meal all day long, which is rare. It's rare to get a character meal all day long. You know what I mean? Like a lot are just breakfast. So if you're going to be one that's all day, you want to make sure that you're leaning into that. And I just don't think it does. Like, why are we at a greenhouse?
I don't disagree. Like they could have definitely, if they knew this was going to be the Winnie the Pooh character meal, they could have leaned in on that theming much better.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. The building is pretty, but it's not Winnie the Pooh themed, right? It's just kind of pretty.
In the 100-acre wood, not gardens. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what about Boo approved? Is this restaurant and experience Boo approved?
10,000% yes. I'm here for all the yes for Boo approved for Crystal Palace. First of all, I have to say, if you've never been to a buffet on Disney property, The thing that I love about going to a buffet with kids is they have on the wings of the buffet, they have a little kids buffet that's shorter and has more items that they love. And I love that about all of the Disney buffets. Totally kid approved from that angle. But we have so many memories at this restaurant with my kids. We have Tally, she was 2. It was for her birthday. We took her there. And she's kissing Eeyore on the nose, and it's the cutest thing ever. And then the parade was going by while we were having our meal. And Piglet took time to take my girls over to the window and watch the parade with them. It was the sweetest thing ever. So yes, it's Boo approved.
100%.
It's definitely Boo approved. Yeah, it is. I've got some cute pictures of my kids with these characters once they finally met them. If you've listened to the show, you know that it actually took a lot for us to meet them at this restaurant, but we did meet them and my kids did love it. Length and pacing, it's a buffet and a character meal. So I think it has both of those things going for it in its pacing, like keeping it quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's really big. Like there's a lot of areas to sit and the characters have to stretch a lot of ground throughout the dining room, which makes it, I think, a little bit more difficult or frustrating, or at least that was my personal experience. But I do think that was more of a one-off. And I do think the fact that it's a buffet and the fact that it's a character meal make the length and pacing pretty great.
I agree. I think that you can take as much or as little time as you need. They definitely cycle you through. And I think that sometimes the pacing of it, because it is such a large restaurant, and for that reason, you can get your reservations fairly easily as long as you're doing pre-reservations. You are able to have a decent amount of time to sit and relax and eat, but not feel like you're rushed. And if you do miss the characters, because I've had that same experience where the characters, like one of the characters just missed us, they always are willing to make it right and will bring a character up to the front to make sure you get your picture with anyone that you need.
That's just a great tip for character meals in general. You should not be at a character meal where you don't meet the characters, and you have to let somebody know if that happens. Does this have an extra glow?
No, it's not Lumiere approved.
I don't. Does.
It's not Lumiere approved, which gives it 3 overall stars and an overall grade of a C.
I feel like it's worth saying though that we love the Crystal Palace and it still got a C, right?
Yeah, because we're being really tough critics. Like that's our job. People that are listening to this are in all likelihood stressing out planning that first Disney vacation and trying to figure out the reservations they should get. So we're being critical in all of the areas. If Cinderella's Royal Table got all of its stars from the experience and that's what you're looking for, that's great. Like when I book Cinderella's Royal Table for my family, I'm not like, where can I get this great meal? And I think it's important that you know that when you go to make your dining reservations, like you're not making them all for the same reasons, and you're not making them all so that you can have a 5-star meal every time you sit. Like that's not what Disney dining is at its core. So breaking it down like this is super helpful, which is going to bring us to Jungle Navigation, Skipper Canteen. There's like other letters in the name of this restaurant, and I don't know what they stand for.
Like why? Like let's just call this Skipper Canteen. Why do we have to have this big long formal name? Like I almost feel like we know that Walt Disney World has other names formally. It's almost like a business name.
Right. It's like Jungle Navigation Corporation or
that's
county or
company.
Okay.
Right?
Jungle Navigation Company LDT Skipper Canteen, also known as the Skipper Canteen.
The Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Love this place.
Oh,
really
so good.
Hidden gem. Remy, menu approved. What do y'all think of the menu here at Skipper Canteen?
I love it. I feel like you get flavors you don't get anywhere else. You can get fried rice. I'm going to again bring up, don't skip on the cheese balls that has like the cream cheese and green stuff. I don't know. It is amazing. Everyone in my family of 5 leaves this restaurant happy, and everybody has chosen something different. You can get falafel, you can get chicken, you can get like there's such good options here.
Yeah, the one thing you already hit, the flavors. There's flavors here that are not elsewhere, which is great for Adventureland. It's like a more adventurous palette, but still has stuff your kids will enjoy. The chicken, I always think about the chicken. We talked about in Be Our Guest how it had like some French nods with the escargot and such, because Beauty and the Beast is in France. Like when you can put nods in your menu, and then I just think the menu is even better, and this one feels adventurous and it feels spicy, like it just, the menu is great. I like the variety. I like that it's not the same as everything else, and it's not a buffet. And it has a hidden secret menu item.
Yeah.
I think it's just hilarious. I want to call out that one of their appetizers is lost and found soup. Like, how hilarious is that? I love the spoofs, right?
Their chicken is called Tastes Like Chicken because it is.
Yes, I love that.
That's the chicken that I love. Yeah, the tastes like chicken because it is the one I really like. So yeah, this gets Remy approval. And I'm going to go ahead and venture into Tiana approval for the quality of the food and say absolutely.
100.
It's like the hole in the wall, those hole in the wall restaurants that you go to and you're like, this food is great. I think it's the unexpected restaurant at Magic Kingdom. Like this is the meal that you're going to get that's the surprise because it's good. It's really good. So yeah, definitely Tiana approval.
For sure. And theming, you are walking in to the Jungle Cruise. It is amazing. The waiters, the cast members are literally putting on their cast hat in this situation. Like they do such a great job. So many puns.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Is it the only ride themed restaurant?
In Magic Kingdom, yeah, I think so.
And I mean, I guess we could make an argument for some in other parks, but definitely this one, which is really fun. So yeah, this is definitely Edna Mode approved as well. It looks like this Jungle Cruise in the jungly environment from the time you walk in through the menu and beyond, and the servers. So great. What about Boo Friendly? Your kids like this restaurant?
My kids do. They are teenagers. But I personally we took our kids when they were a little bit younger as well. And there is so much going on in this restaurant. There are so many like hidden gems up in the rafters, up in the lights. Like I feel like there is always something for them to be entertained by. And our waiter has always done so good with our kids, just being like silly with them.
So this is hard for me. I venture to say yes, because why not? Like it's fun and it's entertaining and there's food for them to eat that they will like. It doesn't have some of the other things that some of the other restaurants we've already talked about had that gave it its Boo points, but I don't foresee, like my kids aren't unhappy here. Like, is it their top pick? No. But is it a bad place to have a kid? No.
I haven't personally taken my kids here. My kids are picky eaters, and so I've been a little afraid that they won't like it. But looking at the kids menu, I mean, they do have traditional things that kids would like too. Like any kid's gonna like mac and cheese, right? So it's probably a little short-sighted of me. I probably could bring my kids here and they would be happy.
No, what's short-sighted is assuming that every kid likes mac and cheese, because my kid only eats mac and cheese if it came out of a blue box.
Well, there you go.
Chicken as well, like the little crispy chicken. And I will say that Laker, my baby, who is not a baby, he's now 14, but since we moved to Florida and he was 8, every time we were going to Magic Kingdom, it was, can we go to Skipper Canteen?
Aw,
Interesting.
I love that.
What did he like about it?
He loves the theming of it. He loves his food every time he goes there. He loves those cheese balls. Seriously, we could order him just that as his meal and he would do it. He loved his dessert, but literally every time, he's probably been there 4 times now because he asks to go every single time, even still as a teen.
That's cool. Okay, I guess it gets Boo approval. I was not sure where that was going to land, but I don't see why not. Cinderella, length and pacing. It's not a particularly long meal. You're not stressed having to meet characters or anything. So it's just kind of in, sit, eat, relax. No issues there. We had that spicy sangria. I still think about it all the time. The thing I remember is that I ordered it like right after I sat down. Somebody was there ready to take my order and it was there like very fast. I just felt like we were really taken care of very quickly and that the experience felt full, but it didn't feel long.
That's fair. I have zero complaints about pacing, length, anything. Like I love this restaurant.
Yeah. And what about extra spark? Do you think the fact that the servers are making jokes and making fun of your time, like that's extra glow, right?
Yeah, I think that it literally is pulling a ride into a restaurant. I think that it is everything that the Be Our Guest moment should be outside of a song and dance. I feel like Skipper Canteen does right. They take the theming that they're given and they lean hard into that theming.
Right. Yeah, I don't see how we can't give it this because I don't even think a lot of people realize that it's connected to the Jungle Cruise. Like people don't know about this restaurant, so they definitely don't know that it's connected to the Jungle Cruise. So I'm in on that.
And it's so much detail. Disney has so much detail in this restaurant. It's among the best themed restaurants on all of Disney property, in my opinion.
Hot take, Becki. Skipper Canteen is the most themed restaurant in all of Disney property.
I'm gonna stand by that.
That's not a hot take.
It's pretty themed there.
It's a hot take. Okay. That means that Skipper Canteen got an A+ from us, you guys. That's 6 out of 6 stars.
Well deserved.
All right. Our first top of the tier chart right there.
Because it wins on every angle, because you don't have to have characters to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important, you know?
And I'm without even adding, we never even talked about price. This is the first restaurant that is not a set price. You can order what you want. You can have an appetizer for your meal. You could just go in and have dessert. Like the freedom there, like it's a great option. Great.
All right, that is 4 restaurants and 4 to go. We're halfway through all of the table service dining at Magic Kingdom. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to finish this up.
Hi, Smarties. Carla here from the podcast. You hear us talking about the right way to do Disney, but let's be honest, taking notes isn't exactly easy while you're busy momming and on the go. There's an easy way to get all of those tips organized to simplify your vacation. Check out our 4-part guide bundle available now in our Patreon shop. Also, if getting guides is something you like to help with your planning, joining our Patreon as a Diamond Mine subscriber gives you a new Disney guide every month. Either way, we have got your back on knowing how to plan your park days so you feel like the expert before you walk in the gates.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I want to remind you that if you have not already liked, subscribed, downloaded, turn on your automatic downloads for the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Make sure we are dropping in your feed and streaming every single Tuesday. It helps us so much when you subscribe and you especially turn on automatic downloads and then listen. We are so grateful. Do it on Tuesday. Be one of our first listeners. Be in the know. Be a real smarty. And we will be forever grateful. And, you know, we also have a Patreon community where we're giving our Patreon Diamond Mine subscribers helpful planning guides that are companions to different episodes. So you may see a restaurant tier chart similar to the pool tier chart that we did, or planning your lightning lane strategies if it is with the lightning lane episode that we did. You never know what you're going to get. And it's always really exciting every month when you get your new guide and your episode that you compare it with. So join in there, join the conversation, get your resources, and be a real smarty. Okay, we are looking at the Liberty Tree Tavern.
I want to interrupt this conversation because I feel like Liberty Tree Tavern and the Diamond Horseshoe need to be one conversation. Let's be honest. They are one restaurant with 2 different dining rooms.
I agree.
It is literally the same food with 2 different checkout places or entry places.
I'll agree with that. I feel like we could talk about them both right now together. I feel like we could do that.
Yeah, and I think we should.
We booked Liberty Tree Tavern and they took us to the Diamond Horseshoe. And I was like, what?
Yeah, explain to our listeners that don't know, why are these interchangeable? What's going on with where they are and what is the setup?
So Liberty Tree Tavern and the Diamond Horseshoe are right next to each other. They are 2 different themes of the same thing. Essentially, what we're talking here is Thanksgiving dinner with 2 different backdrops. So Liberty Tree Tavern kind of has that old, I don't know, would we call it colonial? Is that the right time frame for this?
Colonial feels good.
Yes, it kind of has that colonial feel. You're inside of an old house, if you will. There's stairs going up. You're kind of sitting in dining rooms or family room kind of settings, but it feels quaint, I guess would be the right way to explain this. And as far as the menu goes, this is buffet without being buffet. It's family style. They're going to bring you everything and you're going to eat as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to request more of whatever it is that you want more of. It's fantastic if you are in the mood for Thanksgiving, because that is literally what it is. It is Thanksgiving dinner with the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and the salad.
And it's decent.
I do not care about the Florida heat. I am always in the mood for turkey and Thanksgiving dinner. I'm always down for it. It tastes great to me, but so desiring of comfort food. And that's what this menu is. The ooey gooey toffee cake for dessert and everything. There's so much to love about the menu here, if you don't mind the Florida heat aspect of it.
I think on the menu piece, I actually feel like the menu is fairly limited because you're not getting to have a bunch of variety to choose from, but the food quality is amazing. hard repeat on, yes, please bring me another platter of the pot roast or the turkey and gravy. Like it's so good.
It would be hard to say that this wouldn't be Remy approved, like just because it's Thanksgiving dinner and not a lot of variety. That is what this restaurant is. So it makes me want to say the menu gets a good star, like gets a star because it's doing what it set out to do. And the quality of it is pretty decent. Like, I don't know, is it as good as my grandma's Thanksgiving dinner?
Yes.
Actually, maybe.
It is. Like my husband has hardcore been like, maybe we go to Magic Kingdom for Thanksgiving and just skip making dinner.
That is like perfection to me. If I don't have to slave in the kitchen and make a meal, like we were just talking about this at the top of the episode. Let's just go shortcut that and go to Liberty Tree Tavern for Thanksgiving, right?
Or Diamond Horseshoe, you're gonna get the same food. Just instead of a declaration salad, it's gonna be called, I don't know, what is it called at the Golden Horseshoe? They call it something different. It's literally the exact same thing. Oh, it's the Diamond Horseshoe salad versus it's silly. They are literally the exact same meal versus where are you sitting?
Yeah. But I don't think Diamond Horseshoe gets all the stars that Liberty Tree gets because it's like the off-brand Liberty Tree.
It really is. I think
okay, all right.
Well, are we giving it Remy's? I'm completely down because I love it, but
yeah, I think it gets Remy because it's doing what it set out to do. And Diamond Horseshoe doesn't because why is it called why is it stealing the Liberty Tree?
So we're giving the menu.
Wait. I feel like it doesn't get the point there for Edna Mode, but it still gets the point for Remy.
No, it stole Liberty Tree's menu and called itself Diamond Horseshoe.
But if we're giving the menu a star, the menu has to get the star in both places.
Fine, whatever.
The theming, hands down. If you're choosing between Liberty Tree Tavern and Diamond Horseshoe, choose the Liberty Tree Tavern, please.
Yeah, Edna Mode theming for Liberty Tree, but not Diamond Horseshoe. Fine. It is not Boo. I cannot say Boo approved because I know too many kids that eat PB&Js and mac and cheese at Thanksgiving.
True.
I have to wholeheartedly disagree because this is one of the places that I know my kids are going to eat here. They love everything on the menu here.
Not fun. It's not like a kid place. It's just like adult Thanksgiving table.
It's a family Thanksgiving table.
It's not even a kid's table. It's not even a kid's table. Oh, my family's separated.
Well, here's the other thing I want to point out too. It is like family style dining, which we pointed out like is sort of like a buffet. It's like all you can eat. You can request more of whatever you want. And as a parent, I love that because I get all of the benefits of it being a buffet, but I don't have to get up from the table. I can stay there with the kids. So for that alone, I feel like it gets the Boo approved.
That's true. Becki, I guess you're the tiebreaker here.
Even if your kids are only going to eat the mashed potatoes and gravy and macaroni and cheese, again, not all kids are going to eat macaroni and cheese, but they're going to enjoy the ooey gooey cake. Oh, if we're talking food, I think we have to give it to them. Is there anything that's above and beyond to like help your kids feel?
I just don't want to be misleading here. Like this is not the kid environment. This is not like your kids are going to love Liberty Tree. Like they're going to be fine anywhere.
True.
Okay. All
like
right.
They're going to find something to eat anywhere. But like no kid is walking into Liberty Tree Tavern like, oh, wow.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think that any kids are requesting to go eat at Liberty Tree Tavern.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Katie's might be, but
I mean, yeah, I my kids are always down for it, but I get what you're saying though.
Like, they're down for it. They're down for it, but they're not requesting it. This is not like
correct. This is not the top of the birthday meal wish list. So I will give
there it goes. There we go. Okay. Length and pacing, I think it's fine. Shorter than your traditional Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, I feel like it's good.
So we're saying yes on Cinderella?
Yeah,
I feel like it gets the Cinderella points. I want to be in and out and go ride my rides.
I don't know. You need some time to let that turkey digest and the stuffing grow. There's no extra spark about this unless you're eating there on Thanksgiving.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So not Lumiere approved. That's going to give Liberty Tree Tavern a B. Which puts it in the same bracket as Cinderella's Royal Table, which feels really weird to me. Well, we broke it down and, Liberty Tree got its points on food and Cinderella got its points on experience. So, what can you do?
Yep. There you go. And then the Diamond Horseshoe did not get a B. What did it get?
It got 3 stars and a C, and that feels fair.
Yeah, I feel all right about that.
That puts it in line with Crystal Palace, and I don't personally even think it deserves that, but it got there fairly.
Yeah, I think based on food, something else I love about Diamond Horseshoe and Liberty Tree Tavern is their pricing for all you can eat, I feel is very reasonable. It's comparatively reasonable compared to anything else that you're looking at anywhere on property, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Let's move then into, we only have 2 more restaurants for Magic Kingdom. The Plaza Restaurant. I feel like if you don't know it's there, like it's not hidden, it's in plain sight, but I kind of feel like you're rushing to the castle at the point when you approach it that you kind of don't realize it's there.
I was comparing it to Disneyland's Plaza, and I walked in because it's in the same location as Disneyland's Plaza, and I ate there last weekend, guys, for the very first time. It is something that I've just overlooked, and I don't know why, because there's other options I think my family would choose. But it worked out really well to just grab a last minute restaurant or reservation. I think you can always find a reservation. And I was shocked when I walked in how tiny this restaurant is.
Yeah.
How?
What did you have to eat?
We ordered off of their Halloween menu because they were one of the only places that was having special Halloween food. But I had this turkey club sandwich and it was amazing. I loved the turkey club sandwich. Laker got a cheeseburger and thought it was good. Actually, it was a double cheeseburger and it was like dripping with ooey gooiness, and he split it with Macy and it was gone in like 2 seconds. They really devoured that food.
Interesting.
The Plaza is someplace that's low on my list because of the menu. Like I look at the menu and I'm like, a lot of those same things are things that I could get at a quick service spot, right? The burgers, the chicken, things like that. Like there's nothing on the menu here that makes me go, I have to go out of my way for the Plaza, right? So I think from a variety standpoint for the Remy approved, I probably personally wouldn't do it, but I do see what you're saying, Becki, about like Tiana approved for food quality, how it's definitely different than something you could pick up at, Cosmic Rays.
I completely agree on that. In fact, I dare say the reason why we hadn't eaten at the Plaza restaurant is every time that I make the reservation, I look at the menu and I'm just like, but I can just get that at Cosmic Rays.
Yeah, exactly.
So variety, I would say no, but Tiana's, it was delicious. It was really good food.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What about Edna Mode, the theming? I feel like this is a smaller version of Crystal Palace, like kind of confused on its identity.
I agree. I look at it as like the 2 bookends. They're across the way from each other. They're not far from one another, and they're just like confused bookends.
That's fair.
I'll agree with that.
I mean, they just are. It is what it is.
Is it sad that I'm looking at the rest of this? I'm like, Boo friendly, no. Cinderella's, Lumiere, no. Like, it just kind of is a meh restaurant to me.
It's just kind of meh. I'm going to agree with your assessment on that too.
Don't you think it has good pacing? At least
I could say
it has good pacing. That's what we got going for it, is quality and pacing. I don't think it checks any of the other boxes.
it's an easy reservation to get. You'll have decent food and a quick meal and sit.
And it's a la carte. It's a la carte, so you can stay affordable as a family. Like my kids shared meals here, which you can't do at Cinderella's Royal Table, right?
Okay.
Like it has some things going for it, but this is like I need a place to get out of the heat and I need to feed my kids.
And I can do it in a time that's not going to eat up our day.
Sure. Yes, we did walk up for this. That's how we didn't even have a reservation.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So 2 stars for the Plaza restaurant, giving it a D rating.
Oh.
And that's going to bring us to our very last one. This is Tony's Town Square restaurant. I have such conflicting opinions about Tony's Town Square. Like, where are you all here with Tony's Town Square? Because I'm kind of conflicted, honestly.
Tony's has the reputation of being one of the worst places to eat on Disney property. Like that is its consistent reputation, is that don't eat here. And I just want to point out, I was looking at the menu this morning between Tony's Town Square and Trattoria Al Forno, and they're the same price. So of course, if I'm doing an Italian meal, I'm going to Trattoria Al Forno, right?
That's a no-brainer. And when we tried this for the first time, we've done it several times. My kids really wanted Italian. They wanted Alfredo. And we went and they were fine with it. They never asked to go back. It's not going to be a mass amounts of variety because it's an Italian restaurant. You're going to have the go-to staples of Italian food, right?
But does it do what it sets out to do? Because this is supposed to be the
Lady and the Tramp themes.
Lady and the Tramp. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that does pretty well. but it does set out to meet the needs. It has chicken parm, it has fettuccine alfredo.
The menu is good. It has that cheesy bread, like the new cheese bread that you like pour the cheese sauce on. And it's like, that is legit.
Hallelujah that they saved that, because the bread before was awful.
That new cheesy bread, it's not really that new anymore. I think it's like been around for a year or more at this point. But yeah, that's good. But everything else feels a little subpar. So I would say personally, Remy approves this. Tiana does not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On the piece of the food quality, I think the kids' meal having a cupcake that looks like spaghetti and meatballs, and they put little Cocoa Puffs on the top of it to make it look like spaghetti and meatballs, is the cutest picture ever.
Yeah.
But the driest cupcake ever. Like,
not good.
So cute, but missing the mark on being tasty.
Yeah. And I have a hard time eating food that looks like it's wrong food.
Yeah.
Eating something sweet that looks savory is really hard for me.
Mm.
Okay. So yes to Remy, no to Tiana.
Edna's hard for me here because they do lean into the Lady and the Tramp thing.
Yeah, they lean into it, and this is where you can sit outside. Like if you can get one of those outside tables, that's one of the best. Like I am all about a view in resort. We talk about that all the time. I'm also about a view at a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And an outdoor table at Tony's in the entry area of Magic Kingdom, that square, the town square area, just kind of overlooking people coming and going before they've seen the castle. That's perfect to me. That's ideal for me. And so I like it.
If you want to be extra smart about getting your reservation at Tony's Town Square, book it for when they're going to be doing one of the parades to get one of those outdoor tables. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys sound like you're about to kill me because please don't put me outside. It is so hot in Florida. The reason to sit down and pay for a table service meal is to get out of the heat and let us put food in our bellies. Like, I can agree that if the weather is perfect, sit out on the patio, but please do not make me pay to eat and put me back out in the heat.
Yeah. I agree. Do you think it can get Edna approval though?
I think so. I think they lean in pretty well to the theming of what they're trying to do. And it's a good reason to have your kids watch Lady and the Tramp. Where else are they going to see that?
Right. No, I agree. That's a good point. Okay. It's not like Cinderella's Royal Table level, but it's not bad either. And the outdoor and the placement of the restaurant to me gives it extra points.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely boo friendly. I think because it's like subpar Italian, like my kids want buttered noodles and like watery marinara.
Yeah.
But that's just my kids. I mean, I don't know.
I think that they have things that are going to make kids happy, and they have their own like create your own little entree things for kids. I think that it really can meet the mark there. When you're walking in, they have a TV playing a movie. Is it? I want to say it's Lady and the Tramp, but maybe it's not. Maybe it was the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I don't remember what it was when we went back in there. But they entertain your kids really well while you're waiting for your table. And there's definitely things to see, especially if you do take it up and go out on the balcony and let kids just be entertained by a parade going by or a thing of balloons that are overpriced.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Katie, do you agree? Boo approval?
I'll give it to you. No, my kids aren't going out of their way for it, but I still think the kids would have a great time for it.
Yeah, I agree. Length and pacing here, I think it's fine. That would mean that the only one we didn't give Cinderella approval to on the list of Magic Kingdom dining is Be Our Guest, and that feels fair.
Yeah, that does.
Because that meal is just super long. So that makes sense to me. And I don't really think there's an extra spark going on at Tony's Town Square. It's just a subpar Italian restaurant with a good location.
Yeah.
And some good cheesy bread, which gives it 4 stars and lands it with an overall B.
I have to say, I feel like that's the hottest take, even though I know that we like looked at every factor and made it like everyone is going to be like, how did Tony's get a B?
I agree.
Almost be like, this is a B minus. This is not equivalent to Cinderella's Royal Table.
Can we give it a 1/2 star for Edna theming? Be like, it's got good theming, but like it's not Royal Table level, and like 1/2 star for kid friendly. Yeah, so it totals like 1 star total there, and so it's a 3-star total restaurant. That feels more accurate to me.
That feels more accurate to me as well. Like, it is not a B.
I feel really good about that. Yeah, let's amend those, Edna and Boo, to be half. I feel
I
good
agree.
about
It's like decent, but
that.
not great. Okay, gives it a C. We're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to have all of these overall star ratings and grades as they relate to these restaurants. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, friends. I'm Katie Boone, one of your podcast co-hosts. I'd love to invite you to join my Facebook Disney planning community called Planning Disney with Babies, Toddlers, and Preschoolers. In my group, I love discussing all the aspects of planning your magical vacation with little ones. Find my community at facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. Again, that's facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. When you join, don't forget to tell me you heard about my group on the podcast. See you there.
Hey, wait. I know you're ready to get back to the podcast, but I've got something very simple for you to do. Join my Facebook group, Disney Planning Made Simple. I'm Stacy, one of your podcast hosts, and I have a sweet, friendly Facebook group made for those of us who thrive in the simple pleasures of life, things like family, food, and Disney. Join at facebook.com/groups/Disney Made Simple or follow with the link in the show notes. We'll be so happy to see you there.
All right. This was so much fun talking about table service food at Magic Kingdom. It was something was long overdue, and I hope that you really listened and heard us on every angle, right? We didn't just say, this is an A. We really talked about every area that a restaurant could gain or lose points. In order here, I'm going to go low to high, and we're going to start with the bottom tier here, the Plaza Restaurant. Got itself only 2 stars for food quality and pacing. You're going to go here, you're going to have a meal, you're going to leave fine, and it's going to do its job, but nothing more. So it got 2 stars and a D. Our C level tiered restaurants, quite a few of them, which I think is accurate for Magic Kingdom. We talk all the time about how it's not our favorite place to eat. Tony's Town Square earned only half a star for theming, and mostly that was because of like convenience and location. We liked where it was and how that naturally led into theming. Like, I'm all about convenience. I want to stay places that are convenient. I want to eat places that are convenient. Put me on the monorail, put me on the Skyliner, which I know Skyliner's not at Magic Kingdom, but for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey is going to be Skyliner. So it earned a little bit of points there, but overall got itself a C for just having an okay menu and being a decently paced meal. The Diamond Horseshoe is just like a ridiculous experience and somehow earned itself a C. But honestly, I'm even looking at our stars here, got 3 of them, still questioning how it got there. Crystal Palace also rounding out the C tier here with 3 stars, earning most of its stars in experience, kid friendliness, menu variety, but losing points because it's a confused identity place to be. And then moving into the B's, we had the Liberty Tree Tavern. We all agree it's a great Thanksgiving meal. It is a Thanksgiving meal, so you're going to want to make sure that that's what you are in the mood for, because you're not going to be able to like seek out an alternative. But it got a lot of points for being true to what it was and good at what it was. And Cinderella's Royal Table, similar. Got all of its points for experience, theming, and just being the fact that it's Cinderella's Royal Table, and which I think is not unfair. Be Our Guest got 5 stars, 5 out of 6, approval rating, giving it an A, losing points only for pacing, which it is very long. So thank goodness for the teacups that you get to paint, because you're going to be sitting there for a while.
Yep.
That leaves us with our very top tier restaurant. I'm actually surprised that we landed here, but I'm happy that we did. I think it's fair. I think we talked about why it's fair. An A+, 6 out of 6 stars, going to the Jungle Navigation Skipper Canteen. It's really a full package. Doesn't have characters, but that really wasn't a grading factor. And so you can't hold that against it. Its experience is fun. Its location is great. Its food is delicious, and it gets all of its points. So Jungle Navigation Skipper Canteen, A+. What do we think? Did we nail it?
I feel okay about it.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it as well.
Yeah, I feel great about it. I'm excited. And I hope that this opens the eyes and ears of all the Smarties, and that you're willing to try something new or give something another try or avoid something maybe that you were really thinking you were going to love, and that you have a great time eating at Magic Kingdom because you listened to today's episode. So that's going to do it for us this time on the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Give us your feedback. Join us in our Facebook community at Smart Moms Plan Disney Podcast, and tell us if you think we got it really wrong or really right, where you like to eat and why. We love having feedback from listeners. Recently, we had Chelsea RG23 said, heading to Disney for the first time this month as a family, and this podcast has helped so much. I actually feel better prepared with all of the tips and helpful information they have given. I love that, Chelsea. We hope that you got extra tips from this episode, and find us in our Facebook community. Let us know if you tried one of these restaurants on our recommendation or went against our recommendation. Always love to hear that too. And that's going to do it. So until next time, Smarties, we'll see you real soon.